for coming. This is the 2015 Senior Speak Out. I'd like to go ahead and get this thing started. Senior Speak Out was actually started by the class of 2013. They wanted to talk to you guys and let everyone under them know what they thought about the school and how much they appreciated what happened here. And just really talk about their experiences. And so I'm just going to start this off right away. You're going to hear from 6 seniors this afternoon. And our first one is Will Worst. And I'd like to welcome him up to the stage.
Okay, so when I was in 8th grade, I wanted to leave Liberty, like some of you probably might. I didn't really have much of a choice because my dad was actually the chairman of the board of directors. So it was kind of decided for me, but looking back on these 4 years, I can say that staying at Liberty was really crucial to my formation as a scholar. And there's 3 pieces of advice I can give to you now. As you hopefully decide to stay at Liberty and just going through Liberty, what to think about and try to pursue. The first thing is studying early. So in junior high, many of your classes you could probably cram for the night before. But classes in high school, like in your junior year American Lit, they'll eat you alive if you don't start studying early. If you start studying for that final the night before, it's going to eat you alive. It's not going to be a good experience when you have to take that final. The last thing, or the second thing is focus on understanding. So in junior high, a lot of your classes have been focusing on just rote memorization. You're just memorizing like times tables and addition and different, just a bunch of facts you have to memorize. You need to build a base. In high school though, you're going to start building on that base and trying to learn. And if you can focus on understanding, first off, it helps you with studying. You don't have to study as much if you really understand the content. And yeah, just later, when like in 30 years or whatnot, if you're memorizing timetables and stuff, that'll help you a little bit. But if you truly understand the subjects you learn in high school, you'll be able to build on those later. Then the last piece of advice is learn how to learn. So in this day and age, the internet's it's kind of revolutionized the world. And it's not so much important what you know, but how can you learn quickly. Because this world is changing quickly. So what you learn, say back in the 1970s, if you took a programming class, you're learning punch cards. Those aren't very useful today. But if you learned back then how to learn, you could stay with it and you can learn as you go. So that's what I would focus on too, is learn how to learn. Don't just learn to get through the classes, but focus on learning how to learn content. So at Liberty, your teachers care about you. They're willing to help you learn the material, and while sometimes the workload can seem oppressing when you reach the end of the 4 years in high school at Liberty, you won't regret putting those late nights of work studying for American Lit, Latin, math, chemistry, classes like that. Then finally, I'd like to close with some advice for you guys, but also the people that are leaving this year. This is some advice that I received from Dr. Douglas Ostroff, who won the Nobel Prize in 1996 for physics. He's at Stanford. I talked to him this summer. Dr. Loomis' advice. And this is the advice he gave me when picking a college to go to and also what career to pursue. He said to think about 3 things whenever you're deciding the college and your career. The first one is consider what are you good at. So it's crucial to pursue something that you're good at because you have to be good at it to make your career out of it. Also, don't just pick up what you're really good at, but also what you enjoy doing. Because if you enjoy doing something, you'll be able to work a lot harder, and it will seem more like play rather than work. And then the last thing was, how can you make a difference to society? So those are those 3 pieces of advice I'm going to pass on to you. And with that, Jesse?
Thank you, William. That was wonderful. Next up, we'll have Abigail Hoffman.
Okay, so when I first found out I was doing this talk, there were a lot of things I considered. decided that what you guys would find most applicable was some advice that I wish I had when I was in all of your grades. First of all, for you middle schoolers, don't make your decision on where to go for high school for anyone but yourself. I'm not going to stand up here and tell you what to do with your life or your future because this is a decision you need to make based on what's best for you. Liberty was the right decision for me, but my younger brother Trevor is a freshman at Collins right now, and it was the best decision for him to leave. You guys just need to find out what's going to work out best for you and your exact situation. But all of us high schoolers would be more than happy to help you through that decision and give you advice on why we stayed and why some of our friends left. Freshman. So I actually really can't remember freshman year at all. So I had to talk to my younger brother Trevor. And but one thing I do remember is this one time with Mr. Staten when we were in economics, and he was kind of going through some different painkiller tests. So one day we showed up, and he said, okay guys, run a quiz, but it's not going to be ready. So we sat down and he picked out individuals. He's like, what's this? And if we didn't know, we got sprayed with decks. But seriously guys, you're going to figure it out. High school flies by, and if you don't make time for social stuff, you're going to regret it. Live a little, and remember that schoolwork is important, but don't get consumed with school, because that's what I did freshman and sophomore year, and I don't remember much from those years. The notes probably didn't help out. Sophomores. Okay, so like I said, I can't remember much from this year, but one thing I think you all deserve to know is that junior year is not as bad as it sounds. About 2 weeks before junior year started, I remember waking up with like panic attacks at 4 in the morning, thinking how I was going to like run away or escape junior year somehow. But honestly, as long as you guys do the work and stay on top of things, it won't be too much harder than other years. Juniors. So if you haven't figured it out by now, make sure to get some time in for yourself. Make sure you balance social and school life, because you get to senior year and you realize that a lot of the people you've gone to school since you were growing up are going to be across the country. All the little inside jokes you share aren't going to be a daily thing anymore, and it's just kind of depressing. So enjoy all the time you spend together, and I know it's cliche, but don't wish high school away. Also, get excited for senior year, because you made it through the toughest years together, and it's going to pay off. So for everyone, I just want you to know that all of us seniors are here for you, and I know every year says this, but we're like, talk to us, message us, text us, I don't care. We love feeling useful, and we love to answer any of your questions.
All right, next up we're going to have Eva Morrison.
First of all, it wasn't my choice to come to school here. And I'll be honest, I kind of hated it first semester of 9th grade. I didn't know anyone, it was really hard. But looking back now, I'm so grateful my parents put up with all my whining, sorry Mom, and forced me to keep going to school here. Because Liberty education is priceless, you guys. And I know it sounds cliche and all, but believe me, it's totally worth it. And I have 3 main reasons why I'm really glad I stayed. The first why I love Liberty so much is the kind of friends and classmates I have. By the way, for those of you new Liberty people who are wondering if friends gets any easier, it does. You've probably seen us around. One of my very best friends, Lexi, hated me freshman year. Mostly because I never got in trouble for dress code, and I always raised my hand in Mr. Satan's economics class. Now she and I are super close. Here at Liberty, everyone has their little group of close-knit friends, and mine is really wonderful. But guys, the cool thing is that every class here, like, you know everyone personally, and that's not the case at a massive high school. Like, you might sit next to someone at graduation who you've never seen before. And there's such a family-like connection among every grade here, and that's really amazing. Everybody knows everybody, and that's really a rare gift at a high school, and one that I'm super grateful to have been a part of. Another reason I'm glad I stayed here at Liberty is the level of dedication of my teachers here. I know it might not seem like it sometimes, but we have the coolest teachers in the world. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Every single one cares so much about us and will do anything it takes to help us succeed. If we even make a little effort, we can get an education that's unparalleled by anything anywhere else. Any Liberty graduate is so well prepared for college and the world beyond, and I'm so grateful to all my teachers. I'm going to miss them a ton next year. My last reason for recommending you stay here is sports. Even if you do make a varsity team at one of the big high schools, it's a totally different experience than here. Whenever I'm at like a meet where one of these big schools competes, people always just cheer for their team, like go Rocky or whatever, and it's because they don't know the name of the person that's running. And that's just crazy because, like, my track team, we're like a family, and like everybody knows everybody. And it's such an amazing experience. I think even the soccer cult can attest to that. I have a lot of friends on some sports teams at the huge high schools, and they say it's just, a lot of times it's not all that much fun. And I can't think of anything I've ever done in sports here at Liberty that hasn't just been a blast. The school isn't perfect, guys, and it has a lot of flaws. We all know that, and that's not just the administration knows that as well. But looking back, I wouldn't trade my time here for anything. It might not be for everyone, but I really encourage you to give it a shot. Each and every one of you, it's totally worth it, and believe me, when you start doing college applications, you'll be really glad you stayed.
All right, next up we're going to have Alyssa. Coming over here.
So when I was in 8th grade, I wanted to leave, and mostly that was because my friend group was all going to college, and so I kind of wanted to go with them. And I also felt like I just needed a change. And to be honest, I stayed because my parents wouldn't let me leave. And then I stuck with it through 9th grade, and then going into 10th grade, my parents gave me the decision if I wanted to stay here or not. And I ultimately decided to stay here, and I'm really glad I did. So friend-wise, it was hard for me when a lot of my friends left, and yes, but my best friend in 8th grade, we still talk to each other all the time. We're still really good friends and see each other a lot, so it is possible to keep those relationships even if you don't go to the same school. And I also, like I said, felt like I needed a change. But you actually do get that, and especially in 9th grade, you have so many new people coming in that you have the chance to meet a lot of new friends, and you still can go to this awesome school. So there's a lot of things I love about Liberty, and one of them is the people here, which is ultimately why I decided to stay when my parents gave me the decision. They all place the same value on education, and it makes it a lot more easier to succeed when everyone has those same priorities. And the teachers also prioritize your success. And by saying that, I don't want to imply that teachers at other schools want you to fail, but since they have so many more students, it's harder for them to give the individualized attention that you can get here. And I've really enjoyed that and the support that I've gotten along the way. So like Eva said, this school does have flaws, but that's true for every school you go to, whether it's high school or college. And it is really worth it to stay here. And yeah, so once you start filling out college applications and getting the acceptance, that's really when you start to realize it, and you realize all your hard work, and Liberty will pay off.
Thank you, Alyssa. Next up we have Sarah Schaefer.
Hello, I'm Sarah Schaefer, and before I start out, I just want you guys to know I wrote this 7th period today. But I put a lot of lyrical thought into this speech of mine. So I first want to start out with, when I was in the 3rd grade, I found out that I was the principal's daughter. And I knew that I would have to go to Liberty no matter what. But you know what? I couldn't change schools even if I tried, even if I wanted to. But the school, it keeps me warm? Yeah, it keeps me warm. So I guess my first advice advice to you is pick a school that your dad is not the principal at. And Liberty is a perfect school for all you junior high kids to pick. Perfect, 100% principal dad free. Except for me and Mary, but you know, that's okay. Okay, the second is if you go to another school, we can all say that we've seen that our friends have gotten very complacent and laid back. And you might toss your homework into a bag and push it down the stairs, crash your car into a bridge, and the whole time you'll be saying, I don't care, I love it. But let me tell you how stupid that is, because cars are expensive, and for some people, maybe you're not the person to crash your car into a bridge, but most lives are important, so stay at Liberty if you want to develop some common sense. And finally, this high school is not really a high school, it's more of a high school musical. You have to let it go. It's the best thing you'll ever know. Jump into the future. Okay, but the friendships here at Liberty. Okay, Jonah was supposed to shout, I love you, Sarah, but she totally
I love you.
Okay, I'm going to try that again. But the friendships here at Liberty. Alright, well, I love you. You know, if you go to another school, you'll just be like, don't look at me. And be like, come on, bye, that was kind of embarrassing. But here at Liberty, we are all in this together, where we know where we stand, hand in hand, to make our dreams come true. Thank you, and it's head of the game.
That was legendary. Next we have Michael up here. Last but not least.
First thing I would like to say that really strikes me as being benefit to the Liberty would be the care and effort of your teachers and to your education. And this is actually like serious because I did go to Rocky first freshman year, that's right. And the teachers there were not as caring as they are here. They weren't necessarily experts in their field, as you really get with a lot of teachers here. They didn't take the time to help you. They kind of gave you semi-okay answers to your questions. So you ended up really with more questions than you started with. It wasn't the best environment. So I really would encourage you to stay here and take advantage of what your teachers have to offer because it is quite a lot. The second thing I should probably mention is for the ominous junior year. And that's the reason, you know. The junior year is not that difficult. American Lit, which Christiana Spicer so eloquently called the torture chamber, isn't really that torturous. You're welcome, Mr. D. Really, if you read, like I did some of the time, you will succeed. You're glorious. You will not fail. I didn't fail. It's really not that bad. And actually, except for Stephen Crane, Red Bad Courage, it really was a pretty decent class. Some of the stuff we read was enjoyable. Ezra Pound didn't write the most interesting works of poetry in just a few words, but if you really take the time to unpack it with Mr. D, it doesn't add a whole lot. But Now, with respect to senior year, this is the final thing I would like to say. Don't be like me and lose focus second semester. Because, no, in all sincerity, I have done that a bit. And if you go to any of my teachers, you can probably have them confidently tell you that I've not really been on my game. Things will change. So that's one thing not to do, and it's most commonly diagnosed as senioritis. So don't do that. That's bad. But when you graduate from Liberty finally, as will hopefully happen to me come May 22nd, you will realize that it really does pay off. And I do mean that very literally, because had I gone to Rocky, I do not, or rather had I continued my education with Rocky, I do not think that I would have the background of the classes necessary to really make an impression on universities that I have applied to. And so I'm sure a countless number of seniors here can tell you that they have gotten scholarships all over the place. I've gotten a couple scholarships. My friends have gotten scholarships, probably. Well, yeah. If you really do stick with it, if you try hard, if you focus on what you're doing, if you don't come down to senioritis, or in my case, if you come over senioritis, you can do great things. So do stick with Liberty. The teachers really care about you, and if you put forth the proper effort, then you will really be glad you did. Thank you. God bless America.
So there's this Maya Angelou quote that has kind of guided my junior and senior year, and it says, "People will forget what you say, people will forget what you do, but they will never forget how you make them feel." And I feel like that's the way you all need to go into high school, because at the end of I've come to the end of this, and honestly, I don't really remember what awards I won. I don't really, the things that I worked so hard for, the things that I thought were so important in my college application, have kind of come out and they haven't felt nearly as important as the community I formed. And when you're at Liberty, you have this unique opportunity to form this really incredible community, because it's so small and your teachers care for you so much, and they're like, I'm sitting here surrounded by these people that I care so much about. So I guess what I'd say to you guys is that at the end of the year, at the end of your 4 years or at the end of your 6 years, no scholarship, no college application, acceptance letter, nothing is worth sacrificing those 4 years you have to really get to know these people and to really have an impact on your community. So honestly, regardless of where you end up, I think what's most important is that you go into high school with this intention, and with this intention of making it meaningful, and with this intention of just making connections and of living out your life, not using high school as a time to prepare for your future, but just using high school as a time to really, be who you want to be and make your world and your community who you want to be through your actions every single day. So that's really what I have to say for you guys. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so we just have a couple quick announcements. Is Brenna here? She wants to make an announcement today. Do you want to make an announcement about Game On? Yeah. Yes, she does.
indoor capture the flag, high school only. Probably seen the posters around the school, but just if anyone had any quick questions about it, I'd be here to answer them. It's going to be super fun. I really hope a lot of you come. Yeah, any questions?
What are the times?
7 to 10. $5. Yes, attendance is for house points, so you should all come because it's almost the end of the competition.
Saturday, and it's going to be here in the Great Hall from 8 to 10. Theme is circus theme, so basically wear whatever you want. It has to be modest, but it's like free dress day, dress code. Cost is $8, and Ryan wants me to tell all the ladies, don't be chickens and ask a guy. And that's all.
So you can also get those awards for your house order points for going to the Spirit game against Island. Very anticipated game between our women's high school basketball team and our men's basketball team as well. So games on Friday start at 4 o'clock. So come ready to cheer them on to victory.
The bell's going to ring, so orders of Warner, Dietrich, Norris, and Franz. You guys go for chair second.